All right, welcome to another episode of On the Clock. As always, I'm Jared Perkins. Fortunately, we do not have Tyler Jennings with us here today, but we have an incredible guest, Jackson Wentworth, right-handed pitcher with Kansas State out of Urbandale, Iowa. Jackson, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Good, good. We appreciate you taking the time to join. The first question we always ask the guests: give a little bit of background on yourself, right? Just for the people who don't know you, what makes you the player that you are on the field, and what are some of the passions you really have away from the game as well?
So the passions I have out of the game are definitely fishing, hanging out with friends, and being from Iowa, not much to do. So obviously, fishing's a big part. Um, Something I just keep working hard, just knowing that baseball is a sport that you have to keep working hard no matter what. Just sticking with it, no matter if it's going good or bad. Just sticking with it will always come back to you no matter what.
Yeah, I love that. I love that mentality and mindset. So now you've been at K State for a few years now. Take us into your experience and what it's been like to play there in the Big 12. We interviewed Tyson Neighbors. He had nothing but like positive things to say. So I imagine it's a lot of the same coming from you, but give us a little bit of background on that for you.
So my freshman year when I got here, I tore my UCL on my
Mm.
elbow, so I had to get Tommy John. So I missed my freshman year, but I kept sticking with it. Did the rehab, worked hard through it. Then my sophomore year, um, didn't do so well, but I just stuck with it. Coaches really helped me, and it's been really great. Just like having a great year that I'm having right now. I'm just really happy that the coaches really stuck with me and just kept pushing me along, kept pushing me to become better.
Yeah, I love that. And I one thing I really took touching on is those moments of adversity, right? You talked about having to overcome Tommy John and go through that process. We interviewed Roman Kimball at South Carolina, who went through the same thing that you did, and just talked about how much you learned from that. But what were some of the biggest lessons you took away from having to face that adversity, but also work your way through it?
So the biggest adversity I faced was the mental challenge of
Mm.
it. Overcoming the physical aspect was pretty easy, but the mental block that I had from pitching, it stuck around for a while. And after I figured out getting over that hump, getting back to my old mechanics of pitching, it's really been a lot easier to pitch now because I don't have to worry about how my elbow is going to be doing, if I have to trust it or not.
Yeah, yeah, that's huge. You've had a lot of success this year in 2024. You were part of a combined no hitter. I mean, that must have been an incredible experience. What was that like for you?
So sitting in the bullpen, I was like, I didn't want to think it because of jinx
Yeah.
and stuff. Because they're so like superstitious. So I just got ready and was like, I'm just gonna go in there and just throw the best stuff I can, and just hope they don't hit it. But after like the last out, it was a fly ball. I was like, oh, please don't drop. And he was underneath it, and I saw that he was camped. And I was like, let's go. We got a no hitter. And I thought people were gonna come at me with like a gallon jug of water, and it was like 30 degrees outside. So I was like, I don't want to get cold and wet out here. So luckily, it was just bottled water, but it was a great experience to have with my teammate.
Yeah, it's something you're probably gonna take with you for a while. You talked about kind of being in that bullpen role, right? You've moved to the rotation now at this point. What's that transition been like for you, and kind of how have you kind of changed the way you approach the game?
It went pretty smoothly. When I first got here, I was supposed to be a starter. Then TJ had different other
Yeah.
like, plans. But this year, going from bullpen and helping fill out the role for Tyson because he was injured for a little bit, so I had to fill that role. But they put me in the starting rotation role, and it's gone pretty smoothly. So I have kind of like the both of being a bullpen guy and a starter. So it's kind of nice having those kind of tools in my tool belt when I pitch.
Yeah, and so for pitch mix wise, you've been fastball, cutter, curveball, changeup for this year. Have you made any tweaks to that, or just kind of going with the same thing?
Just small little tweaks just to make them better, just so that when I go to see another team that we played already in the Big 12, that they're better and they're sharper and they're more consistent, so that I can command them wherever I want in the zone.
Yeah, I love that. You talked about again. Now we've talked about transitioning that starting role. For you, I guess probably one of the biggest successes is just staying healthy and being on the field. But what would you say the biggest success for you has been this year in the season?
Definitely finding my old arm slot from TJ.
Mm.
I went to summer ball and I was still in that low 3/4 slot from TJ. Then I got done with summer ball and I was just watching an old video of me pitching. I noticed that I was a high 3/4 slot. So getting back to that old arm slot, which really helped me. And because my command came back, velocity came back, and my pitch mix came back where I could spin stuff a lot better. I could command it where I wanted it to. So just really getting back to that old mechanics really helped me.
Yeah, I love that. You talked a little bit too, kind of getting through and past the mental side of Tommy John. Did you have anything that you really went to help you with the mental side of things?
Uh, it was just more so just sticking with it,
Yeah.
just kind of do some meditation stuff, which really helped me just to kind of clear my head so that when I go and throw, I'm not like thinking about it. I'm thinking about, all right, I want my pitch to do this, and I just throw it rather than, well, how is this going to affect my elbow or how is this going to hurt or not? Just having that meditation just to help clear my mind so I can just throw and not worry about anything.
Yeah, I love that. We talk about the mental side of things a lot because meditation, kind of coming with those things and kind of being present and focusing on where you are. I think those things are huge. You talked a little bit having to fill in for Tyson in the closer's role. Talk about that relationship and having that relationship with those guys in the bullpen, and kind of how you kind of build off each other and push each other to get better.
So a lot of like the guys that we like feed off each other, like we ask about like what pitch grip they have or how it works for them, because obviously everything's different for each pitcher. We all have different arm slots, motion, but just having that kind of connection with the bullpen guys where you can just talk to each other about pitches, how yours moves, how mine moves, just having that relationship and having that connection when you're just sitting in the game, just waiting to get your turn to go in the game really helps because when you help someone else, they'll help you back, and you can just help others become better.
Yeah, I love that. So, kind of as we get to a close of the season, what are you looking forward to in these upcoming series as you kind of approach playoffs?
I really want two sweeps for sure, so that we can go into our Big 12 playoffs with great momentum, and so that we just get hot at the right time and just make a run for Omaha, which is our main goal for this year.
Yeah, I mean that's a big thing too. When you get into it, like once you're in tournament play, like anything can happen. So if you get that momentum going, good things can come.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll go into a couple of rapid fire questions here just to kind of close things out. What's a go-to sport outside of baseball for you?
Probably say softball just because it's a bit faster paced than baseball.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you play like a adult league softball, or do you kind of no? Second rapid fire question we got. So, what's a go-to restaurant in your area?
In Manhattan,
Yeah.
I'd probably say AJ's Pizza Parlor.
Love it. I gotta love the college pizzas places. Those are the best.
Yeah.
Um, Last one we'll go into here. So, what's the what's your go-to our favorite sport to watch at K State? Basketball, football.
I'd probably say football for sure, just because how our football stadium has that energy when you play there, and you can just feel just everything. And just it's kind of just like baseball when you're on the field, you just feel that energy. But being in the stands is a bit more different, but you still get to feel that energy.
Love it. Love it. Jackson, we can't thank you enough for taking the time to join us on the Clock. We're wishing you nothing but success for the rest of the year, and I'll be looking forward to watching you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.